1-yard line. Trevor under center. He slipped and he fell down. Trevor fell down on the play. Now he's going to try and run in. He did it in the end zone. Touchdown. Trevor ran it in. He ran it in. Touchdown. He got up. He fell down to the flag in the end zone. It's against Kansas City. Trevor Lawrence ran it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
From the agony to the ecstasy, statement win by the Jaguars. They're 4-1 for the first time since 2007. And just look at the AFC. Now, I know we're a long way from the end of the season.
Well, let's look.
But if the playoffs began today, Jeff,
they're at the top, Jeff.
The Colts would be the 1 seed.
I won't stand for that.
Averaging over 30 a clip.
I don't give a damn how many plays you play for them. I don't care how many games you coach for them. I don't care that you won the Super Bowl. Before the season started, I said the Colts was going to be good. You weren't out here talking about it. You don't get to take credit for
I don't work in the summer. I don't work in the summer. I get summer break, dog. I was with you.
I saw the segment at home.
I watched you. I was cheering you on.
Okay. Our Colts are number one.
There we go.
Fair enough. But the most interesting thing about that graphic to many would be exactly what it says on the bottom of the screen. It did not include the Ravens. It did not include the Chiefs.
Right.
Those two, along with Buffalo, were everybody's favorites to come out of there. So let's start with the Chiefs. If I'm putting together a panic meter where like 10 is the Jets and 1 is whoever is the best team in the NFL, where is the panic meter for the Chiefs right now?
Yeah, I still think it's below 5 panic meter for the Chiefs. Like, their division is still very much winnable. The Broncos are a really good team.
Broncos are good.
I think what is encouraging is the Chiefs that we know offensively, they appear to be back. The turnover in the red zone was a problem. That's not a normal Patrick Mahomes situation. They had back-to-back weeks. They had explosive plays. Last week, you're like, well, the Ravens are super injured. The Ravens just are bad on defense. The Jags are not bad on defense.
Right.
They play well offensively. So I'm not panicking if I'm the Chiefs. They always find a way to adapt.
I fully agree, and I think a lot of last night was fluky too. Like, I mean, the Butker kicking it out of bounds to put him on the 40. I mean, there's just a lot of things that went on. But to your point, that's I didn't feel as comfortable 2 weeks ago with the Chiefs' offense as I did last. I thought that's a good group. Yeah. They moved the ball. They ran the ball effectively. They had explosive plays. Like, they did everything that you thought. Spags will get that defense right. They'll figure this thing out. That's still a very good football team.
Only one more game till they get Rashee Rice back, which will elevate their offense even further. You saw them working the rookie running back in a little bit last night. He's on the come. So, and the protection has been better, obviously better.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I think the Chiefs will be fine. Denver, it could be an issue, but the Chargers are starting to fall apart already with their injuries. So, yeah, I'm not as worried about the Chiefs.
I'm with you, but that one more game for Kansas City is Detroit. So that's going to be very tough to win. So you lose that. Now you're 2-4. Denver's going to London this week. They have what should be an easier win against the Jets. All kidding aside. So that could be some trouble. The other one is, Dan is still scarred from watching the Jets last week. Think how I feel. But anyway, how about the Ravens? Like, ESPN Bet still has the Ravens as the favorite to win the AFC North. I watch them. I don't know how they're going to win another game.
I was just going to say, I don't know how many people at ESPN Bet are watching the film of that Baltimore Ravens team. They don't look good. You talk about that meter, they're right there on the Jets on that meter. Defensively, there's so many young guys that are out there playing for them right now that they just don't have the guys. And we got a chance to see what it's going to be like if Lamar Jackson's not back this week when they take on the Rams offensively. Cooper Rush started the game off, made a few passes. I looked at that game yesterday and Sunday, and the second interception by Jalen Petrie looked like the Ravens season, where the ball's in Mark Andrews' hand. It's almost like these first few games, they almost got it, and then it ends up in an interception. They don't have it this year, and I don't see where the help's coming from.
Their 6 highest paid players were inactive for that game. There's no team that could withstand that. If the second most important player on their team behind Lamar Jackson is Kyle Hamilton, who got hurt in practice last week.
Right.
Like, that way he wasn't even part of the walking wounded coming out of last week's game. They have to get healthy. But the reason I think that they're still the favorites on ESPN Bet is I don't think ESPN Bet is buying into the Steelers at 3-1. Yeah. They think they'll come back to the pack, and that division could maybe be won with 9 or 10 wins.
Listen, I would hope the Ravens can figure this thing out. You played against a Texans offensive line that everybody gets pressure. They still don't get pressure. They get lit up points-wise. That is a scary place to be. Where's your answer? You can blame the defensive backfield. If you're not creating that, you got a backup quarterback, you ain't winning many games.
Quickly, because I want to get to this.
You can say everything about the injuries that that you want, those excuses. Like, I mean, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard.
They don't have their team.
These are NFL football players.
They're going to be 1-5.
Everybody on that roster is in the NFL. Like, 44 points?
Yeah.
Nah.
They're going to be 1-5 after the bye.
It's a tough look. Now, in the
You're hurt,
meantime,
too, 'cause it's
let's
home.
go to the fumble that changed everything in the desert on Sunday. You've seen this play. It's running back Marty DiMercato, who lets the ball slip from his fingertips before he crosses the goal line. It would have been a 72-yard touchdown. They would have been up 28-6. Game would have been over. This video has been making the rounds. That's head coach Jonathan Gannon after the incident coming over. You see the moment. I'm not going to describe exactly what it is. You see it. Does he hit him? Does he slap him? I'll let you make up your own mind. Gannon himself, the head coach, spoke about it yesterday.
I woke up this morning and didn't feel great about it, honestly. And so in the team meeting, I addressed it. I apologized to Omari, apologized to the team. And I just told him I kind of let the moment of what happened get the better of me there. It's not really who I am, who I want to be, and I told the guys that today. So it's a mistake by me, and it's just like everybody in there. Everybody made some type of mistake yesterday, which is, culminates to why we didn't win the game, and we can't let it happen moving forward.
All right, so this is an excellent example of a time where I defer to the expertise of the people who played it. There are etiquettes, there are codes, and all that kind of stuff. And 90% of the people watching this show right now did not play football at a high level to understand this. So tell me, when you see that video, what goes through your mind?
Yeah, he was dead wrong, and he knows it.
The coach.
The coach, 100% dead wrong. Take aside the fumble, or dead wrong. You don't put your hands on another man. You can be upset, you can be frustrated, you can say what you got to say to him. You don't put your hands on him. I will say, I felt that was an authentic apology. Like, I felt like he meant what he said. I thought about it last night. I blew it. I made a mistake as well. I appreciate him saying that to the team, addressing the team first before he did it through the press. And it happens. I mean, I've had coaches fight. I fought with players. I get it, right? Like, it's an intense game on the sideline. But you don't ever put your hands on somebody on the sideline. He knows it. He apologized for it, but he was dead wrong.
So we don't really got HR in football, so it's a unique place. Like,
right.
Normally there are some things that are allowed to happen on a football team and a football field that aren't allowed in other workplaces. But there's one thing about hierarchy that always remains true, is you can't do things to me that I can't do back to you. Right. So, like, in football, like Jeff said, I fought teammates. Teammates have fought me. Right. That's fine. I've seen coaches fight. They yell at each other. I've had coaches cuss at me. I can cuss back at the coach. Right. What you can't do is, because what we all know what would happen in that actual situation is, if DiMercato wants to fight him, he whoop his ass.
Right.
So, like, you can't slap me in the chest and know that I can't do nothing about it and think that it's okay. And then we didn't even speak to the fact that it's clear that the guy is crushed.
Right.
He's right there with a teammate who seems like he's trying to lift him up. The one thing in that moment, I think that's also about being a leader, is you have to know what the moment calls for. Yep. Like, you're doing what makes you feel better. And that's what's best for that situation. That guy needs to be lifted up right there, not slapped down.
Absolutely. And I think that just goes to speaking of frustration that's going on in Arizona right now. I was on the team with John Gannon, where he was our quality control coach when I was in Tennessee. So when you talk about that apology being sincere, I 100% believe that from being around the man for multiple years, the person beyond just a football coach. And I think you guys said it all that needed to be said about the incident itself. There's no point on the football field where a coach should put his hands on a player. That's for any level of the sport. And to be honest, as you watch that, you're almost lucky that there weren't players around that witnessed that wanted to then put their hands on John Gannon to defend a young guy who made a mistake in the game.
Can I use this just really quick as a point? Because what you just said, if you remember when Stevenson fumbled early in the Patriots and Bills game, and Vrabel comes over to him, and he's had fumble issues, right? Like, it has been bad, and it's been ugly. Talking about losing your job type deal. And he walks over and goes, "It's a long game. We're going to need you. Yes. You're going to come back from this." And he does, right?
Scored 2 touchdowns.
Exactly. But it's to because I thought your point was fantastic in that at certain moments we do what feels good to us as opposed to what's better for our team and for our moments. That's where the miss was by Gannon.
Yeah, agreed 100%. We saw it the week before when Braylon Allen fumbled for the Jets, and Aaron Glenn goes over to him, comes up, first guy to talk to him. And you could tell the message was, We're staying with you. Like, we believe in you. And obviously that's what DeMarcado needed. I mean, look, that incomprehensibly bad loss for Arizona. But at that time, they were still winning.
But it was a mental mistake from her. It wasn't a physical mistake.
That's the thing.
That's
because I know
yeah.
people watching are going to be yelling this at the TV. The Ramondre Stevenson fumble, the Braylon Allen fumble, they weren't the same thing.
Right.
Those were plays in which they got the ball knocked out. That happens in football. This is one where he dropped it.
It was boneheaded. It was boneheaded.
Understood.
The effect is the same.
The point remains.
The player goes to the sideline.
You don't hit the player no matter what.
The worst thing about this is now we have to be serious about this game that absolutely was an unserious game.
Oh.
I would rather talk about how unserious that football game was than talk about how serious we have to take these slaps.
They had a serious game in Milwaukee last night. We're working in the baseball.